Hi everyone.
Hi everyone, thank you for the opportunity. I will only say a few words about the project of Clever City. It's a project regarding the diffusion of nature-based solution in cities that started 1 year ago. And we have been responsible for the writing of the co-creation guidance that cities started using in their, let's say, living lab experience. So Israa will tell you about which are the main steps and the challenges in applying NBS in cities. So I give the word to Israa directly.
Hi everyone, my name is Israa Mahmoud and I take part of the Clever Cities project and the Urban Simulation Lab here in Politecnico di Milano. Today, I'm going to give you a few points. I'm going to talk about how we handle the co-creation guidance and what is Clever Cities project and from a theoretical and practical toolkit. Examples from different frontrunner cities and how they took out the upscaling of implementation of nature-based solution in their action labs, and some governance models and lessons learned, what we understand from the implementation of a co-creation approach for the nature-based solution. And at the end, we're going to talk about some challenges that we faced and what we think are the bottlenecks of the implementation of nature-based solutions using such a huge scale in different cities. So one of the things that I would first want to talk about, what is Clever Cities? We position Clever Cities in as part of the Nature-Based Solution Cooperation Manifesto that you can find on ThinkNature platform. And it takes part of a whole group of task force on implementation of nature-based solutions with the European Commission. It's a project that has been that has started in 2018 and it's supposed to be ending in 2023. And for Clever Cities, we have 9 cities. 3 of them are the frontrunners, and we have 6 fellow cities. It's a project that is aiming to co-designing nature-based solutions and locally on a local scale, and to have a value-added and urbanization inclusive value. So also, it's the 3 frontrunner cities are London, Hamburg, and Milan. And the fellow cities are Quito in Ecuador, Madrid, Larissa, Belgrade, Spanto, and Malmo. Our role in Politecnico di Milano was to write down a guidance on the implementation of nature-based solutions. And for the guidance is divided in 2 parts. The first part is the theoretical framework and the pathway of the co-creation and how we organize this. Then the second part is how to run urban living labs and what we call in Clever Action Labs in some simple steps, and how to establish an urban innovation partnership together with all the phases of co-designing, co-implementation, and co-monitoring, co-development inside the action labs, which are a form of the urban living labs to implement nature-based solutions. So on a brief, the first part just tackles the scientific frameworks. It's divided in 3 chapters: the co-creation for successful implementation. What is co-creation? What do we mean by that? What is complete co-creation? What is the principles? What is the type of NBS, taxonomies, and the policy challenges that we have? The second part is about understanding what are the co-benefits of nature-based solutions and how to bring in the co-benefits to the public and a wider audience and stakeholders so you can have a concrete impact. And the last part was about stakeholder engagement at all levels of implementation. The project of Clever Cities tackles different scales of implementation for the nature-based solutions. We have 3 different cities as frontrunners, and each one of them has different either spatial challenges or different governmental issues and political actions. And what is the importance of mapping and engaging everyone during the whole process of co-creation, and how to evaluate their engagement and keep them interested in the whole process. On the second part, we talk about how to bring in this pathway to reality, and we invented like 16 steps. These 16 steps, you can see them here in brief. I'm going to leave the website to our co-creation guidance back after the presentation, so you can check on that. So with all the challenge that we have, we understand that bringing everyone on board and establishing the partnership that Claudia was talking about a little bit earlier, and how to bring everyone with the engagement and writing a guideline for implementation of nature-based solutions is important to bring everyone on board. What we wanted to do is bring you a different experience and how to say that this is feasible. This activities could be that we envision in this guidance is flexible. You can adjust to each city, to the local context, and each step that we invented here has a set of tools and templates and toolkits, and it's a way. Some of them are very fundamental to get implemented, and some of them are flexible, and you can also do it in order to think that your project is really getting to the public. So the guidance mainly aims to get into the implementation and upscaling of nature-based solution everywhere. And we have learned recently that some other cities, not just the One Thing Clever project, are also interested, and they are kind of taking this approach of co-creation inside the implementation of their nature-based solutions. This is the guidance website that I told you that I'm going to be leaving. You can also check on our work. It's a work in progress. We give examples from whatever we are saying and whatever we're implementing with our cities every once in a while. So back to the point, well, what is co-creation of nature-based solution, and what we think that co-creation is bringing as an added value to nature-based solution upskilling, that it brings the urban policy planning and looks at it from a user-centered approach, and how in the practice it brings a common framework to implement this nature-based solution during the phase of the outcomes. So it encourages togetherness, ongoing procedure, productive procedure, and of course the end user at the center of everything. In Clever Cities, we wanted to look at the co-benefits that as part of bringing on board everyone. So we looked at 4 macro scales, like the human health and well-being, sustainable economic prosperity, and social cohesion, as well as citizen safety and security. And these were the main drivers to bring the municipality of Milan, a lot of other stakeholders, either on the local scale or on the international scale, to the importance of uptaking nature-based solutions inside the policies and how to bring everyone on board. So accounting on this, we learned some lessons, and what we learned from the theoretical framework, that co-creation brings different knowledge and experiences, capabilities, and collective governance is a must. It also brings a lot of spin-offs and shared results. And from the implementation, not just the theoretical framework, that nature-based solutions are so much challenging, and they need to be very specific and place-based in urban context. And it also needs to be addressing community needs as the first priority. And they also run on a fundamental multifunctional scale, and this is very crucial to be getting implemented in a strategic urban planning inside the city municipalities, and brings in a larger core of stakeholders and their collaboration on board. So without further ado, we go forward to the interventions that we have. In Hamburg, we had a Clever Corridor, and the Clever Corridor works for connecting 2 other urban living labs of green roofs and facades, and the other one of schools. And the corridor mainly started in October. The implementation started in October 2018. And the experience that we are facing with Hamburg, that they kind of have a very challenging implementation procedure, because it's a peripheral area, and you need to eliminate a lot of physical barriers during the implementation. However, it's very interesting to see that they are bringing also the citizens through a digital participation platform that is called DPAS, and bringing as well school students and to help them to co-design and co-implement the green spaces inside their urban living labs. The second case is in Italy and in Milan. They're focusing on 2 deprived areas. One of them is about a campaign of green roofs that is going to be tackling a whole big chunk of the city. And the second action lab is tackling a community fragmented place that is Giambellino 129. And the third intervention is going to be a biodiversity corridor and green noise barriers along a green a railway infrastructure, and it's aimed to be a green railway infrastructure. The third case is community placemaking in London. And in London Thamesmead, it's also a community that is suffering from also lacking cohesion, and they wanted to focus more on connecting people, bringing everyone on board, and achieving a better aim, and kind of also using digital participative techniques and digital participation as to bring everyone on board, not just the community, not just the municipality, but also a lot of stakeholders and all the people living in the area. Focusing on what we learned from this process, bringing as well a different experience to the platform of ThinkNature. It's not just about making policies, it's not just about making guidelines. A big part of the story looks at the real challenges that we have, the bottlenecks that we have faced during the implementation, and this different experience we learned from Milan, that the partnership that got launched probably in November 2018, it's an ongoing process. You cannot just leave it at some point. And the road mapping that we did with the stakeholders and what we are planning for the city is an ongoing process. Still, again, not just need to put the NBS in the center of governance and the center of the planning framework, but you also need to train the municipality and the users, the end users inside the process of co-creation to be open to face a lot of challenges. With this, I would go with my last slides, and the first thing about what we learned from the bottlenecks were the spatial challenges, and they are not a standalone interventions. Especially on when we are talking about big infrastructure scale implementation on nature-based solutions. They should be integrated inside different infrastructures. They need to offer a lot of trade-offs between the spaces and multiple diverse kind of nature-based solutions. And this variety of typologies and extension need to be so much looking at the local scale and overcoming these spatial challenges. The second kind of challenges that we faced were the shared governance and the road to implementation of nature-based solutions, especially when you're looking at the local scale, and bringing the community members, not just the municipalities and the finance that offered by probably the European Commission. You kind of need to look at it not just from a citizen-led initiative, but also breaking the silos that the shared governance is aiming at the level of municipality. And it needs to kind of be a common rule for decision making. The whole process of the co-creation needs to be the common rule and concerning what it's going to an urban local scale. The last but not least, financial challenges were kind of highly influenced both by the way of the value of the real estate in the area and the kind of investment coming in. And this is important to keep the long-term process. So, and also how to attract private actors and demonstrating this return of investment during the whole time framework that the process is going on, kind of the results of nature-based solutions usually go on for more than 4 or 5 years. So you need to bring in the shared knowledge about that. You need to bring in a whole of open governance and shared governance on the process. The community involvement is very, very huge chunk of the success factors, and the facilitating policies as well. With this, I conclude, and I think that we kind of give you a brief of what is could be very important to the implementation of clever cities and whatever upscaling the maintenance of nature-based solution in a lot of other cities, not just clever, and looking at their local scale. And thank you so much.